Hey everybody, 116 is out, and if you haven't had time to watch the preview about 116, then this might be an interesting video for you because I'm going to take you through all of that in 7 minutes as opposed to 1 hour and 17 minutes. I think it's great that they're back to doing office hours, don't get me wrong, but I didn't even have a chance to watch it until today. Nevertheless, people liked the first video on 115, so I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have these bite-sized Luna updates videos. So today, here we go, 116. If you haven't had a chance to download it or just don't know what's new yet, I'm gonna show you guys real quick, and hopefully BB will let me move over to the computer here, and let's check out Luna. This is BB. BB, I've only got 5 minutes with these guys. I know. Should we edit out a little cuddle break? So we have some new features, BB. One is the utility row. The utility row is pretty cool. For a long time, I've been using plugins just to change the phase. Like on these drum tracks, you'll see a lot of them have auto align on them, which may or may not reverse the phase depending on how much time I took while miking the drums. Let's see, on this high tom, the phase is reversed. They've done a really interesting job here with the phase issues. I hope nobody's triggered or allergic to cats. I mean, she is a black cat. I hope this isn't an unlucky video. There she is. All right. So phase issues can happen even in the middle of the song, which is great because we have automation for phase issues. So you've got now the utility row, which is up here, and you can adjust the phase. Like if you have two mics on the guitar and you notice all of a sudden the guitar is sounding weird and different. This doesn't work. Weird and different in the middle. Then maybe the phase shifted because the performer shifted, and now the phase relationship between those two mics is different, and all of a sudden the guitar sounds kind of out of whack. Well, maybe with that shift, you need to automate the phase shift on the guitar. So if these mid-tom and floor tom for per se your phase shift tracks, you would want to ungroup them first. That's also really important because at least I know for the trim, let's see what happens if we group these two toms together. The phases, they stay together, right? So for this special new group of toms, and if I turn that group off, if I edit that group and I say mixing, now they're no longer together. So within the edits, you need to enable the mixing, enable the group, and then they stay together. Disable the mixing, in this case on group 3. Sorry, I didn't take the time to name it. But as you see, I have a needy kitty. And if I play with her enough, then she'll start needing me too. That's a cat owner pun. You've got the trim in here too. And if we have the mixing enabled on our group, they will adjust together. Now notice I had already adjusted the right one before enabling it, and then I brought this down 10 more. So it kept the adjustment I made on the floor tom. And this is just a great way if you need to grab all your drums to bring them like down a certain amount of decibels because you're, or up depending on what you need in your mix. Happens to me a lot. Yes. So this is happening exactly in order that you see here. And this isn't being recorded, obviously. So whereas within the Unison plugins, this stuff would be recorded if you change the phase. Here it isn't. Okay, now on to this live drum recording. I have the drummer coming back in soon to maybe clean up some of these hits. Usually I have them play along, but singers, for example, feel really weird if they can't hear their own voice when we're punching in on a recording. So rather than create multiple tracks and record on top, so they can hear themselves in the monitors on the other track, the great way is with input monitoring. And sometimes you just need to be able to enable it real quickly. And to enable it now on all tracks that you have marked, that you have designated as recording tracks. Yes, enable, and assign the input. Okay, let's just try that. Okay, it's just Option K on the keyboard. Option K, Option K. And that's pretty handy to be able to do that real quick while you're playing back. So if you want them just to hear it for a second, and then you want them, though, to hear themselves playing along to it before you punch in, that would be the key there. So first I let the drummer play along so he gets into the rhythm. When I sense that he's in the rhythm, Option K, now he's hearing himself. Now I'm punching in. That could create a much better workflow for punch-ins and save you a lot of time in tracking by not needing to record onto new tracks just to enable you to hear yourself and the old track and the old take. So that's great. And of course, Luna makes it very easy to slide back and mix those two and choose the point that you want to crossfade. Another cool new automation is that you can now turn on and off noise from tape in your automations. And we're talking about the wonderful tape plugins. And also that in mixing, you have now for these double guys on buses, you can turn them into simple pans. Before you couldn't do that on buses, and now you can do that on buses.